Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, your senior managing editor here at criticalblast.com, coming to you live from the Critical Blast Caverns. And this is a night when you are expecting to watch two guys throw ideas back and forth at each other, get cantankerous, and maybe call names. You're on the wrong channel, so stick around. Here with us tonight, we have Luke Stone and his book, Hybrids, the Sons of Gods. How you doing tonight, Luke?
Pretty good, but I would not refrain from promising that two guys will be throwing around ideas and getting cantankerous. So
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I have heard it said that I have from reputable sources that my opponent has been known to masticate in public and procrastinate with his sister. So,
okay, there you go.
that's actually real politics from old school Arkansas. I forget who it was that was running, but he basically knew that his voter base wouldn't know what those words meant, and by the time his opponent had a chance to educate them on it, it was election day. It just sounded dirty.
Yeah, it said, "What did he do with his sister?" Procrastinated.
Yeah,
you admit to it.
I admit it, and sometimes I chew my food in public. So
yeah. So look at you standing there with your teeth in your mouth, your elbow halfway up your arm, and your knee halfway up your leg. How dare you?
Absolutely. What are you doing, man? So that's a cool looking shirt you got on there, man.
Thanks. Yes. You could get this actually on the campaign if you go to one of the either the Ultimate Collectors tier or add it on as one of the add-ons. You can order the Hybrids, the Sons of Gods t-shirt. Yeah.
Has that got a back image to it, or just the logo on the front?
Nope, just the logo on the front. Yeah, I've never really been one for t-shirts with the back image on it.
Me neither. The only time I've come close is like if they got like a URL like right under the bottom corner. I'm like, yeah, even then, just not my thing.
I had a friend of mine, so I was working with a record label, small record label. We were kind of starting together, and he got me a t-shirt that was for the record label. And he's like, turn it over. And I'm like, okay. And so I turned it over right above at the top, like right back there. It said my name. And I'm like, why did you do that?
Now everybody behind you can yell at you.
Yeah, he likes to put his name on everything. I'm the opposite. I guess it's maybe my libertarian nature. I'm like, it's nobody's business what my name is. I don't even like answering the lady at the grocery store when she asks how my day is. How are you doing? It's none of your business how I'm doing.
I was doing great until you asked me that question.
Yeah.
Now I'm triggered.
Yeah, I'm gonna mind you to ask your own. I'm gonna mind you to ask you to mind your own business, please.
Well, you've got. I'm looking at the campaign here. You are 18 days out and $353.
$353. Man, it's so close. It's like a fingernail's width away from the end here.
I think we can hit that. But anyway, we should have a couple of people hit up that T-shirt thing there. Now, your black T-shirt looks black, and my black T-shirt looks pale blue. It's this.
It might be that. Might be your camera settings too.
It probably is. It's the light, because here's the deal. I am in a basement, so I've got the two lights that come on when I flip the switch when I come in, and they're both these curly Q energy lights that we bought.
Oh yeah.
Because they're 9 watts each, and I won't have to buy another one for like 50 years. They just last. Okay. But they're like 6 feet over from where my table setting is. So without the light on, it's dark. Or with that light on, it's dark. So I unscrewed the bulb. I got one of those hang Christmas lights from your front porch kind of deals that you plug in the socket and you got 2 plugs on the side. And I put the light bulb back in. I run an extension cord down from that. I plug a power strip into the extension cord. Okay. Literally, if I could turn this thing around, it's a fire hazard.
Where we come from, we call that jimmy rigging it.
Yes, well, that's what I've done. Because off that power strip, out of that light socket, through that extension cord, I have my work laptop, my Critical Blast laptop, my extra monitor, my phone charger, and a car repair trouble light, which I have wired back up to the beams on the ceiling, and I have basically clamped to a beam
to give you some light. Yeah.
to give
To
me
make
a third light. Now, if somebody comes in and shuts the light off, everything powers off. My monitor goes.
You lose everything.
Yes, I would lose. Well, fortunately, the laptop would stay up. The battery would stay up on it.
Yeah, that reminds me a bit of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation when he's trying to get the lights to work.
Yeah, when the computer works, I sing hallelujah.
Yeah.
So you've been have you been on pins and needles watching the countdown get closer and closer to single digits? And
yeah, that's the thing. So I did my first 30 days, and now this is my last 30, the second 30. So apparently, and I'm kind of new to, what's that?
It sounds like a sentence when you do that. I did my first 30 days.
Well, it kind of is, RJ. It really is. It's a little bit like you're in Indiegogo prison is what it feels like, because you're a slave to those numbers and to that campaign, and you try to push it every day. And I typically will just do a 30-day or something like that. And I'm pretty new to Indiegogo too. So I've done a few Indiegogos, but I normally run them after a successful Kickstarter. So I have a smaller goal. The plan is just to get it to go into in demand.
Sure.
This is my first time where I've gone to Indiegogo first, and that it's been this big chunk of money that I'm looking for. And so I didn't realize, kind of early on, people kept asking, Luke, is this your first 30 days or your second? And I was like, what's that matter? It's like, well, are you going to extend it? And I'm like, I guess I'm going to have to, because it just kind of kept going. I guess it's customary for people to run to 30 days and extend it because there's some algorithms you can take advantage of with it. Yeah. So
yeah, I know. I talked with one guy a couple of days ago. He just started a 60-day campaign. Yes.
Yeah. He's just doing full. Some people do a full 60, but I guess if you do the 30 days, the last 48 to 72 hours of the campaign, Indiegogo will promote it in the algorithms. And so basically, if you do 30 and then do another 30, you get to take advantage of that twice. I didn't know that. I just was going to run 30 days, but so now we're coming close to the end of the second 30 days. We've got 18 days left to go, and it is. There's been too many days where no movement happens at all, kind of in the middle of a campaign. It all kind of plateaus a little bit. What's that?
It's like getting on the scale every morning and saying, I didn't eat anything yesterday. How come I'm 2 pounds heavier?
Yeah, exactly. And so you do kind of get on pins and needles a little bit, and it's so close now too. It's like, it's just right. 8% away from being funded. Yeah. And you're like, and I know people, I've talked to probably 15 different people, is like, oh yeah, that's on my radar to get that before it ends. So I know some people are going to be jumping on right before the end, and you're just like, could you just please do it now, just so that I could sleep tonight? Please get me over that 5K so I could just get a little rest.
$353, and this thing is funded and done.
Yeah.
So,
And we got so many cool things that no one has taken advantage of. Like, I've got original art up there. I typically work digital, but a couple of pages from time to time, I will print off my layouts, and then I will do a physical pencil. And so I've got a couple of pages that are available for that, and no one's picked those up yet.
Oh man, pick up original art, people. You don't come up with that every day.
No,
we'll get 7. If we can get 7 people to pick up this special cover bundle, you're done. You're covered.
Yeah, that's it. 7 people. That's all I need, and that's a great deal too, because that's a $15 savings.
Yes,
on that book. Yeah,
20% off here. And this is the Trash Day BD. What's the BD stand for? Help me out there.
That's Brian Dawson is the artist that did that. So Brian Dawson holofoil cover, and then the Canaan White exclusive cover. You're not going to get that anywhere else. I'm going to print a few extra copies, and those will go in demand, but probably only like maybe 15 or 20 of those. The rest will be the only way you can get those will be through the Indiegogo.
All right. So you get the bookmark, and people go like, okay, I get the bookmark. I got stuff bookmarks over here. But these are 2 128-page graphic novels here. The complete series in both. And they're both limited edition covers by 2 different wonderful artists. So
Yeah, that holofoil is going to look really cool on that red cover. So we've worked out with the printer to be able to get that done, and we're very excited about it.
What,
Nick, hey, Nick's in the chat. What's that?
What color is going to be the foil? Is it going to be the red?
The red one, yes, yeah, yep.
I mean, what color on the cover is going to be the foil edition?
Oh, the whole thing is going to be a foil edition. It's going to be a holofoil, so it's going to be real shiny and shimmery and have a texture to it.
I was thinking spot foil. You know how they make like just.
Yeah, I thought about doing that, but when I saw some of the images of the holofoil, I was like, that's really cool. I really like that. I like shiny things, though. It goes to my nature.
That's why they invented the holofoil. People like shiny things.
Yeah, and so I plan on a couple of days to also open this up on Kickstarter, and because there are a few of people that have backed this in the past that they're just unfamiliar or unwilling to try out Indiegogo, and so we will take advantage of some of those people's preferred platform, and we will run probably 2 weeks. We'll open it up the plan is to either open it up at 14 days or to open it up as soon as we hit the $5,000 funding goal. So we have a few extra days, and what we'll do is we'll combine the backer totals and the dollar amounts to reach our stretch goals. So.
All right, so this is the cover that you're going to do the holofoil in. Now, this may not be the holofoil version. There's still going to be is there going to be just a red one without holofoil?
No. That will only be the holofoil. So that will only be in one version. So you'll only be able to get that as holofoil cover.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's see. We got the hybrids 1 through 5 connected covers.
Yep, we do have that. So that's really cool. So the guy that drew the holofoil cover, that was originally to be a connected cover with 4 or 5 other books on a company that I was with. And so when we commissioned that, I still wanted to be able to use it. So we decided to use it for the holofoil for the trade paperback. But what's really cool is I asked him and said, hey, will you do 5 individual covers for the first 5 floppies that all connect as a big panoramic? And so we have those available. And so he finished those up. And then I had a very talented artist, colorist take care of the colors for it. And so you can add those, you can buy those by themselves, or you can put them on as an add-on.
You know what would be really cool, he said, was you got 18 days left to go and no time to make any changes. You remember when they did 5 different covers for X-Men #1 back in the 90s?
I do, yeah.
Okay, well, there were actually 6 X-Men covers. There were the 5 that were interconnected, and then there was a 6th that was gatefold cover, all 5 covers that were just folded up under each other.
Yeah, I do remember that, yeah. But that worked really great for one issue.
Yes.
I think it would be, maybe for issue 6. I'm drawing issue 6 now. So I'm about 9 pages. I'm a little over a third of the way in. And I've just talked with the colorist that has been with me since the beginning and said, hey, I've got pages I'm going to be sending you. And so we are well into the next arc. So.
All right. So we got the 5 interconnected covers. And this is all 5 issues for $25, right?
Yep.
And this is 5 floppies with the connected covers. It's a really cool thing to get. That's $5 a book.
Yeah.
Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What are we looking at? 4, 8, 12, 13, 14 people. 14 people to pick up these $25 books. And we will be done. Campaign will be finished. Campaign goes into
funded. Yeah, funded. Yeah.
It'll be fun.
And what's cool here is this next one is I've got some art. We haven't got all the art back yet, but it is coming. And I've got 2 images. Let me see if I can find those and share those with you.
Oh yeah, please do.
I thought I'd emailed them, but maybe I did, maybe I didn't.
You probably did a while back. Actually, no, I don't think you did. I got everything off the Indiegogo page for the artwork that I did. And while he's doing that, folks, I just want to throw out a gentle reminder here that other shows we got coming up this week. Tomorrow, we have a huge, huge show. We're going to have the team from Starring Sonia Devereaux on. That will be writers Nick Kapitanakis and Todd Livingston. They will be bringing with them the Frame brothers, Brian and Brendan, and guest starring that maven of the macabre, Ivana Cadaver, and Caroline Pierce. So, we got some headliners in the show here. that you're going to want to tune in and talk to. And then the day after that, which would be Thursday, we will have The Rascals live with Greg Shen. We still have Friday open, so if you're a comic book pusher and you want to get in here and talk comics, hit us up in our DMs on Twitter and let us know. So that was how I killed some time. Hey, Bap, welcome to the chat. We are looking at hybrids, the sons of God, and we're trying to help Luke get over this last $353 gap between closing. I mean, so what are your?
I will share my screen with you here. Find the right button. You know how that works.
I'm watching for it to pop up. I made sure to share mine with sound because I keep forgetting that. But every time I share it with sound, because there's a video and I play the video, I get a copyright claim.
Oh, yeah.
Because even though everybody's picking free music, somehow it's never free when it comes to me.
So we still have the trade dress to put on these things, but we have to have, I have to do some graphic design for it because we are going to do the hybrids lettering and masthead and everything. We are going to do it mimicking or mocking or an homage to the original as well. So it's not just going to be our masthead on top of this art, but it's going to be it's going to look like the traditional, like the book that it was supposed to, only with our lettering, like our words and stuff. So,
the incredible hybrids.
yeah, exactly. So we'll do that, and then the little arrow will have the Trash Day Part 1, because this will be for the first issue. And then we have the second issue here that we're doing, and the third issue is being colored, and then we're finishing up art this week for the other 2 issue homage covers. So these are going to be, when we say the homage covers, we have the mini posters that are going to be in the Ultimate Collector's Pack and the Super Box that we have available. And then we're also on that other tier that you had shown, all of the books will be re-released. So how you can get the 5 connected covers, you can also get 5 homage covers. So that's cool. What we'll be doing for those. So yeah, and so these might be very recognizable to you.
I recognize first. In fact, that first one I actually owned at one point in my life. Yes, I did. Yeah, on the issue before it and the issue after it, and I was 22 years old with a baby and an electric bill, and
so it went the way of paying for real life, huh?
Yes, it did. It and so many other books. Like I had an issue of Spider-Man where he fights some guy with a skull on his shirt.
That one?
Yeah, that one.
Nice.
And then he catches some blonde girl falling off a bridge. I had that one. Yep. I had books.
So I was always a big Spider-Man fan. So I did, so we did this cover to represent the first appearance of Spider-Man, kind of his origin. So, obviously a little different from the originals, but as close as we can get it. And the colorist is trying to match and not go too over the top and try to match some of the original art, like coloring style, but they just did like spot colors back then, really not a whole lot of gradients and stuff like that. So, it's a little hard for him to kind of dumb it down, but
his costume was red, the same red in every single square.
Yeah.
I had a lot of appreciation as a kid for Spider-Man artists because I would, try to draw my superheroes, and Spider-Man was always hard. I'm like, you've got to draw all these lines and not make it go over his eyes, and they have to meet in his mouth. And I would go nuts writing all those web lines on costume.
Oh yeah. I always liked drawing webbing. I think my favorite person that did the webbing was probably Todd McFarlane and what he called his spaghetti webbing. I always liked the way it looked. It always had this really neat dynamic look to it.
Yeah, it was because it'd be like shooting out, but then be like peeling off in all different places. Oh,
yeah. So that's that tier of the homage covers that we're talking about. So some of that art's coming out, and I'd hope to have some of it to show prior, kind of before, a little closer to the beginning or the middle of the campaign. But you'd have sold more of them if you actually had days left in your campaign. Yeah. So it's like I said, I'm still waiting on the colorist to get some stuff back to me too. So
So any hints for the people in the chat as to what the other 3 homage covers are going to be? You said there were 5 of them?
Yes. Issue 3 is going to be the are you familiar with Secret Wars issue 4 by chance? So it's going to be Secret Wars issue 4 homage cover. So
I can picture 8. I cannot picture 4.
4 is the Earth, like the rock, and the Hulk holding up this big rock, saving all the other heroes underneath him. So
wait, I do know this one. Let's see if I can share my screen. You're gonna love this. Okay, hang on. Now I've got to change the screen I'm sharing. You're not gonna want to leave this for this, folks, because I'm gonna regale you with something here. There we go. This cover right here.
That cover right there, exactly. Yeah, it's that cover right there.
This is me in my bedroom, 1985, 17 years old.
Wow.
and I, because this is the only Secret Wars cover I can ever remember, is number 8.
The Spider-Man. I had thought about doing that one, but the other cover is going to be New Mutants 87. So we're going to be doing the New Mutants one. I just thought it was, the one with Cable on there. I just thought it was really cool. So we're going to be doing that one. And then issue 5, I think, is going to be the X-Men #1 50th anniversary with Magneto doing the thing.
Yep.
With all the Kirby crackle. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
I think that's what we're going to be doing with that one.
I love homage covers. I mean, there's the kind where it's like, I'm not even saying that this is an homage. There's 3 different kinds. There's the kind where it's like, hey, look, it's the amazing hybrids, the sons of gods. And you're like, yeah, it's obviously a Spider-Man homage cover. Yeah. And then there's like the, hey, look, it's the amazing hybrids, the sons of gods. Thanks, Ditko. After him, where you actually say, yeah, it's an homage, and we're admitting it's an homage. Yeah. And then there's a Greg Land cover.
Oh, Lord. Can he thank those references?
I don't think he has. He's basically been called out on it. Ichthey 5, yes, those sideburns I had. True story. You'll notice off to my left side here, these Teen Titans issues. That's the first start of the Baxter series. I actually thought I could pull off a Jericho.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing looks
nice. I like it.
Nothing looks as good in real life as it does in the comic books.
Yeah.
If I could get my hair, I could not get my sideburns to grow like Jericho's. I could not get my hair cut like Nightwing's. So it just sucked to be me.
Yeah, I think I saw Bat back this last month. He said he backed it as a collector's tier. Nicholas Mueller, if we can get as close to, so at 8,000, we're going to be able to open up and do another 12 pages to the book. So instead of being 128, we'll do 140. And part of those pages are going to be backup stories done by guest creators. And Nicholas Mueller worked with a guy named Todd Oltmans to create a backup story. That is we're really looking forward to for that going in there. And so I'm also trying to work out, like, is there a way for us to do it if we don't quite hit the 8,000? Because I really want some of these backup stories to get in there. They are absolutely phenomenal creations from these individuals, and can't wait to get those in there. So Nick worked on that, and pretty solid work there.
I'm refreshing the screen like it's going to change on us here, but as much as I would love that to be the case.
Yeah. Well, it's,
353. We're still at 353 to go. So
82 backers, 353 to go. And it's coming along. It really is. It's it's so close with I think 18 days left. Is it 18?
18 days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. 18 days left. There's still plenty. I guess there's still plenty of time to do that. And like I said, I'm going to be opening up the Kickstarter, which will help us to reach some of that stretch goal there. But in order for this to go in demand, it has to hit the 5,000. It has to hit the 5,000. So I think we'll have a good shot at that. Obviously, we'd love to do it tonight. Hit the $5,000 tonight, so that we don't have to worry about that. We can start focusing in on getting those extra stickers added into the sticker pack. And we are doing this thing where we're also we're doing some of our backer. It's a backer count, not necessarily a dollar amount. So we have the dollar amount we need to reach to add the extra pages, but we have backer numbers that we need to hit to add stickers. So we are really close at 82. What does that make? 17. We're 17 backers away from adding another sticker. We've had one sticker added already, which is the chlorine chibi. So
is that her here?
That's her. Yeah. So in the sticker pack itself, we've got a Trashman holofoil, a Trashman die cut, and then a Trashman chibi die cut. And so everyone loves the Trashman chibi. Like, they love him. And so I decided to commission the artist that did that original sticker for me to do 3 more, so I could have a set of 4. And I wanted it to be the same characters that were on the Canon White cover. So you'll have Trashman as chibi, you'll have Chlorine as chibi, you'll have Bone. He's the next one that unlocks at 100, and then at 125 backers, we unlock the Ion chibi. So pretty excited about that.
I love these things. These are going to look very cool on little white stickers. I'm assuming they're also going to be die cut, like around the edge.
Yes.
Beautiful stuff. You'll want to slap that on your refrigerator and make your mom yell at you.
Yeah, or your laptop or other things.
Yeah.
Stick it on your guitar.
Even take them off at all.
Yeah. Yeah, some people just collect them. They keep them in with the books and things like that. But yeah, I really like those, and we're excited about it.
Every time I scroll through this thing, and yes, I do check on your campaign quite a bit, actually. If anybody who ever comes on the show, I kind of feel responsible for their campaign to a slight degree. I was like, are they doing okay? Do they need food? But I always stop here because every time I stop, I'm like, wait a second, why are we in Arkham Asylum and Bane is coming down?
Yeah, exactly.
do you get that a lot? Because I'm like, is it Joker and is Bane? And I don't know.
Yeah, he's got a Bane feel. This character is named Body Bag. And I just want to comment, make note of Frog. Yeah, Frog G, I agree. I would rather see it cross the line sooner than later. But yeah, so this character has had several iterations over the years, and you get to know more about him in issue 6. And so he's actually introduced in this moment in issue 5. And for the people listening, I will go ahead and give a little bit of a spoiler for this guy. So that mask that he is wearing is made of human skin. Yes. So he is. So in this world, people can develop powers. It's kind of like a lottery. Based on your genetic gene pool, you may have this angelic DNA that's somehow dormant inside of you. And if it comes out, if it wakes up, you can't really choose who gets it and who doesn't. It's kind of a roll of the dice. And sometimes people that aren't so nice get powers.
Sure.
And these people that you see in these yellow jumpsuits just happen to, or orange jumpsuits. I said yellow. I don't know why I said that. Orange jumpsuits just happen to be some of the more nefarious individuals who develop powers. So
yeah, it's the genetic line from the Nephilim from the days of the antediluvian days of Noah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And
so
as watered down as genetics get, this stuff just kind of sort of spreads out to where it becomes rarer and rarer, but it's still strong when it hits.
Yeah, when it comes, I mean, think about it. It's like a drop of NOS in the gas tank, and so depending on how thick the mixture is, it determines the depth of the power. And so, for instance, a true Nephilim is 50-50, 50% angel, 50% human. None of the hybrids are going to be are true Nephilim, so they don't have a 50-50 blend, but they can have high 40s at best. and that's, but at best they can have that, but it's really watered down. And so some of these people might have 2% or whatever. And so they've got some power. They're kind of supercharged, but not as much as some other people. So you kind of get like this genetic lottery, really, when it goes through it. And it really kind of depends on your ancestor, on what they would have had, like what their abilities and their power sets might have been. So, so it's kind of neat in that sense.
And of course, you could have multiple ancestors. The way if my explorations into ancestry are any indication, you could have 5 or 6 different Nephilim, on your mom's side and your dad's side and your great grandmother's side, and you get a mix of things that didn't exist.
Yeah, and so it can give you a greater percentage of Nephilim DNA, and that's why we call them hybrids in this universe, because they're not true Nephilim, but they are hybrids, angel-human hybrids. And the other part of the title, the sons of gods, it's because the Nephilim, actually, the stories of those guys actually predate the Greek gods by about 1,500 years. And so Greek gods in this story, and even in reality a bit, are real life, or they're just exaggerations of the real life Nephilim. So some of those stories overlap. And that's where we go in this book. So these are the ancestors of the Greek gods. And so some of those stories that you would hear, some of the things that you would expect them to be able to do, you'll see that in there. But yet, of course, we go well beyond just the normal basic superpowers. We go into some really cool things. And so you start learning about some god tier level powers and things like that, which plays a part into our antagonist and kind of his role. And again, you learn more about that in this next arc. We have so much fun stuff. I tried to unload. So for like 10 years, I worked on the world and backstory of what the universe of hybrids would be. And I didn't want to just like editorialize and like editorial dump everything out for people in the first 5 issues. Yeah. So I've given as much as needs to be given in the first 5. And then the next, there's even more, like, so that there's still stuff to discover about the world. And then there's also, what's that?
That's how I like to discover it, is, through the story. I hate when when it's all front loaded. And the other thing I hate is when you have to provide a glossary at the end of the book.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't understand what these words mean in context, then change your writing a little bit. And I've seen too many writers who do that.
Yeah. I try to use the law of reciprocity with storytelling. And basically what that is, it's kind of, so as we sit down and we have a conversation, I'm going to share my name with you. I'm Luke. I'm RJ. Hello, I make comic books. Hello, I have a YouTube show. So like, we go back and forth and we share a little piece of our information and our history and things like that. But it's not all at once. I don't sit there and give you, in the first 5 or so minutes of knowing you, an editorial dump of everything about my life and who I am and all that kind of stuff. It's based on getting to know each other a little bit more here or there. That's when that, that's how that works out. And so I try to do the same thing in the story. Just give a little bit, as you learn a little bit more about one of the characters, you learn a little bit more about this character and that character. The conversation goes back and forth and back and forth. And eventually you start to learn more, not only about the individuals, but you also learn more about the team, about the world that they're living in, and all of those things. So that just kind of comes out organically. And so that's kind of a big thing with my writing that I try to do.
That's the only way to really catch a reader and hook them, because if you give them everything up front, they've got no more interest in the rest of the book.
Yeah.
I just noticed.
Hey, Pops, how's it going, man? What's that?
I just noticed these little highlights on their necks here. At first I thought like lens flare, and I'm like, oh, wait a second. There's a lens flare on all of them, and it's all on the side of their necks. So I'm betting that means something.
That is, and we don't even talk about it at all in the issue. It's a power inhibitor. We talk about the power inhibitor later in the next arc.
I'm just looking at it and like feeling my inner, not Snidely Whiplash. Who was the Canadian Ranger in the cartoons?
Dudley Do-Right.
Dudley Do-Right. My inner Dudley Do-Right's coming out. I'm like, this means something.
Oh, yes, it does. It absolutely does mean something. So we talk about the power inhibitors in the next arc, because we're going to have to use a power inhibitor at some point to save someone's life.
Oh, That's an interesting
Little
application.
hint.
Yeah, my power is killing me. Inhibit my power.
Yeah.
So I'm scrolling back up so we can see some more of these packets here.
Yeah.
We left off here at the hybrids 1 through 5, and then sample art. What's sample art?
That's sample art from the homage covers.
Okay,
Yeah.
we saw the homage covers. Cover B, $35 holofoil, and you're going to get the holofoil edition plus the digital version plus the bookmark, so you'll be able to read it on your phone or your tablet or wherever you're at. If people still use tablets, I think everybody's just got a phone these days.
Well, I do. I've got this tablet that I use for just about everything, but it's the iPad Pro. I've actually got my art software in there, so I will draw some of the comic on this from time to time when I'm traveling.
This is true. I do see artists with them.
Yeah.
So if I ever see a tablet, I assume either an artist or a doctor.
Yeah. That could be true.
So that's the $35 holofoil for the Brian Dawson cover. And then we got the Kanan White cover. This is more exclusive. This one's a $40 one.
Yeah. We're only going to print however many are ordered, plus maybe 5% more, maybe. We'll bring the number up to a round number. So right now we have 23 of those going out. I'll probably go to order 30 of them.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the rest of the big run that we're going to do is going to be the traditional cover. And then I'll do probably twice as many, two or three times as many holofoil covers as I do the Kanan White.
Yeah. Collector's pack here. Now this is the bigger deal. You get some swag with this.
You do, yeah. So I've got a set of 12 trading cards, and so we're going to include the set of 12 trading cards. And with this, you're going to get the what I call the classic posters. So I add these little mini posters into every campaign I've ever done, and so I've got the collection of the best or the most popular, the favorite ones that people have got, and so I'm adding that in there. And then the sticker pack, which it is added in there as well. You'll be able to get that, and with each additional stretch goal for the stickers, you get an extra sticker in that sticker pack, so it automatically updates.
Oh, nice.
And then we've got the bracelet that we like so much, and then also that's been added to this, but because someone has already backed at that level, I can't go in and adjust it. But we've put it out on updates and Twitter and Facebook that we're adding a hybrids iron-on patch for the collector's pack and above. So you're also going to get a patch with this.
That's the iron-on, as in like a reverse transfer or like an embroidered.
It's an embroidered iron-on patch. Yeah.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah. So yeah, you'll be able to put that on a bag, a hat, jacket, things like that. So I was actually on Shay, the Red show, and she asked me about the patch, and I said, I'll tell you what, I'll add a patch to the collector's pack and above. So anybody goes there, they're also going to get the patch. So yeah. And we've got the collector's pack with and basically it's the same thing for all three covers, A, B, and C. And then
swag packer A, B, and C. Yeah, we couldn't change the Kanan White cover at this point. It's already claimed. I get you.
Yeah.
And then the ultimate collector's pack A, that's where the shirt comes in.
Yep. And it's going to have the homage mini poster set in there as well. So we unlock that later on. So we weren't sure that we were going to do the homage cover set. It did get decided that we were going to go ahead and commission those and make those happen. And so that's getting added into the ultimate collector's pack. So you get the cards, you get both sets of posters, you get the shirt, the patch, the sticker, you get everything basically that we have there.
And of course, this is a mock-up of the book. It's not been printed yet. So remember, folks, it's 128 pages. This book looks more like it's maybe not quite there, but
not quite that. Yeah. Yeah. It's more like that is a mock of about 84 pages.
Yeah.
And we're doing a full 128, possibly 140. So
you get some good swag packs here. Tell you what, get 3 of these and you're four of those. 4 of those $90 packs will be done for the night, guys.
Yeah. And we've had quite a few already, I think, of those. It's been pretty popular.
We got one claim to the Ultimate Collector's Pack A. We got 5 of the Collector's Pack C. Everyone loves that Canaan White work.
Yeah.
And you got 3 of the Collector's Pack A here. And of course, they spread it all out. They're spreading the love among the different tiers.
Yeah, they really are. Uh-huh.
And then there was the original art one with the hybrid trade paperback. This is
your choice.
Sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, you actually get to choose which cover you want.
Now, is there something special about this particular issue and page? Like it's what I had available, or?
No, they are key pages is basically what it is. So I've got 2 of them here, and there's actually a third one that I will probably wind up just sticking up on Kickstarter as kind of an exclusive over there. So there's something for people, so they feel a little bit of love over there, even though I love Indiegogo more. So this page is the beginning of the reveal of our main antagonist. And so I decided the sequence looked really, really cool. It was a fun layout. And I like, this one needs to be hand penciled. I think it'll be a lot of fun to do. And so that one got hand penciled. And then the next one is a very popular pinup that our splash page that we did for issue 4. And so I've actually sold the inks for this one already. I did the inks digital, and the way I do the digital inks is I have them printed off on artboard, and then I sign them 1 of 1 in an initial.
Oh,
and
nice.
so yes, I've sold the original inks, but the pencils are not digital pencils; they're physical pencils. Like I've actually put lead to paper, and so that will be again just the only one that's there, and it was just a really popular page. I knew that it was going to turn out well, and so
I'm praying to the great master of Indiegogos and crowdfunds that every one of those chimes is Indiegogo sending you have a sale, you have a sale, you have a sale.
Yeah.
I don't know if it does it or not. I don't have an Indiegogo to know if you get that.
They don't. I get an email. That they have a new backer. Which is, it's not quite like, Kickstarter has the app, and the app will notify you all day long, which feels really good. I really wish they would do that.
Yeah, they both have their benefits.
They really do.
I like how if I have Kickstarter up during one of these shows, I don't have to keep refreshing the page by, clicking the tab. It will automatically refresh the value if it changes. On the back end side, however, though, if I'm backing a Kickstarter, I have to remember, don't spend that money until Kickstarter takes it out at the end of the month.
Yeah. I've had, I don't know how many Kickstarter campaigns I've had where I've had dropped pledges at the end. And that just, that can make the difference between, a lot of stuff.
Hey, Piper's in the show.
Piper is the editor for the next arc. Did you know that? I
did not know that. Piper, why aren't you in the show?
She should be in the show. Yeah, Piper is the editor for the next arc, and so I was working with a guy named Chuck Pino, very talented guy, but my Comicsgate announcement caused some trouble for him, and so apparently I'm too public to be able to be Comicsgate and him be able to still work with me, and so he was in. It was going to be a little more trouble, and it was a very agonizing decision for him and for me both, because we're close friends. We love, appreciate each other, value each other's work and talent very much, and it's been very fun to work with him. But he has exited from the work and from the project, and in his place, I started to interview some different editors, met with Piper, talked to her, and she just was the perfect fit, I think, for my personality, for where I want to go creatively, and for the project itself. So very excited to be working with Piper.
I was your link, but she's killed her Twitter for a while, and she'll come back. But
I don't, and I don't blame her.
I don't know what
Twitter
happened.
can be. Yeah, Twitter can be. Social media in general can be just an ugly place, and I try to avoid it these days.
I also couldn't remember if you were Comicsgate, not Comicsgate, or or where you fell on that spectrum. So I wasn't going to bring up the other idea that I threw out the other night because I used Comicsgate in the example of it. I'm like, it really applies to everybody, but people won't cross the border between things. But you talked about the trading cards, and I preached last time, I'm sure, about my whole get 9 people together to do 9 different trading cards, and they all make one big puzzle, and you have to,
Yeah, that was a great idea.
put that to the side. I had a totally different idea. I want to find somebody. Again, I'm going to have absolutely nothing to do with this other than throwing the idea out there. So I won't make any money, and I'm not going to tell people how to do it. But somebody do a collectible card game, a set of rules with just generic characters and generic, if I were to use Magic the Gathering as a basic example, I would say, some generic lands, some generic artifacts, some generic characters, and, whatever else add-ons you want. And then have, rules for like, how big something can get and how small something can get. Everybody works within that. And Luke Stone puts out Hybrids, the Sons of Gods. And at one level, here is a booster pack of Game X with the Hybrids characters in it, ready to go in and play against, your deck. And Ethan Van Skyrick say, yeah, well, we'll have a booster pack with some Vespers and a Cyber Frog in it. And you can play against your friend. And, he says, I throw, Hercules at you. It's like, well, guess what, buddy? I got, Soul Finder right here. He's just going to take you right out.
That's not a bad idea. So I'm actually developing a role-playing game. I'm not developing. My IP is being developed by a guy who's developed the engine for the role-playing game. But that engine can be transferred among things that share a universe. So as long as the rules of the universe stay the same, then you can have other characters come in. And so he's doing that, developing this into a role-playing game. We'd hope to have that out this year. But because of, kind of some changes with the publishing of Hybrids and all of that kind of stuff,
sure,
that's moved around. So we're looking at next year releasing that and really hitting that game hard next year. But one of the other things we're going to do is add on a card game. So once this is released, we're going to release a battle card game. And that could be something really fun. Maybe we could partner, find at least a couple of people to partner and put their characters together into a card game. That might be neat.
Yeah, just make it, an open universe rules thing. So like, you don't have to go get permission from someone to make cards that would fit into the game. You just have to, follow the rules. Which, when I say follow the rules, that almost sounds like somebody's got to approve them. But
yeah, well, a guy named Vincent White did that for some indie stuff. He was doing he ran a Kickstarter or whatever where he did. Everyone could pitch in and have their characters included in the card game. I'm not quite sure what happened with that or what he did with it, but he was doing the work to put together the rules for the card game and then do all the art for it, which turned out, I think the art turned out really good and everything. But maybe something a little more. I'm one of those people. I always think big. I have these, I want to think community wide, and it'd be so cool to see the Comicsgate people really have some things that connect themselves. Like I was kind of talking in one of the chat rooms earlier today that it would be neat because I've talked with a few people. I would like to do some more traditional distribution for my books and things like that. And I think it's very possible to do that, but it's always nice. It's always easier to do that when you have more weight behind you, when it's a little more weighty. And in order to do that, you need people that work together and have some influence. And I was thinking, Comicsgate has got audience and they've got capital. Obviously, we're making money over there. The only thing we don't have is that distribution outside of, crowdfunding. Wouldn't it be neat if we could help some of the local retailers by kind of pooling our efforts together to do some stuff? And so I have big ideas like that. And then I wake up and realize that that it's, that I don't know that I have the influence to be able to do some of those things. But
yeah, I have big ideas and then I throw them out on streams. I don't want to do any of it. It's like, hey guys, here's a thought. Somebody do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had something to do with it when I see it, but beyond that, no. Now, if you make $1 million off of it, I'm going to be pissed at myself. But
yeah. So I've got the role playing game, the standard Theater of the Mind role playing game that we're going to release. We've got I want to get a battle card game designed and done up so that we can so that we can do that. And then I also want to do a standard board game with little figures and stuff like that. So that's kind of the phase. I want to do action figures. And then I'm actually actively right now looking for animators that want to partner and kind of go into like a 50-50 kind of scenario where they help animate shorts and we put together and produce these things based on these hybrid stories. And then that way we can pitch that somewhere and or at least have something really cool and put them on a YouTube channel or something for the Comicsgate people and try to build an audience that way. So
yeah, getting artists to want to go in on, I found has been a uphill battle. Writers are willing to go in on, artists want paid.
They do, but like, so the guy that is working on the role-playing game, he's a 50-50 partner on that. So we've got a contract, basically whatever we make off that game, he makes 50% of. And so, we work like that. If we know that we've got, and really, isn't that the thing that a lot of people are looking for? Don't you want to have a show, but don't you need if you're an animator, don't you want to make a cartoon or an animation, but don't you need a content to make it of? And, I kind of feel like, the hybrid story is really gaining a lot of steam with people and it's doing well. It can do better, and I think it will do better, especially the more I learn and my ability to kind of reach more audience. But I think it could work out, so that a studio, an animator and myself can make money off of it. It's like, hey, you've got content to work with already. Do these shorts. They don't have to be long, and we can figure out how to monetize it.
Have you thought about action figures?
Yes. I want to do action figures. I haven't really looked into the whole nuts and bolts of doing that yet and how much that's going to cost. But I saw that Johnny Phantasm or something, I think that's the name of it. I think that's the name of the book. I see that he's doing action figures. Yeah. EVS is doing action figures. And so that's probably going to be in my scope of things next year. Early next year, I'm going to really try to figure out how to do the action figure thing and
George Peter Gadd is doing 3D prints, and he's got his own 3D printer to do it with. So he's doing 3D prints of his character, and I know that on the next book he's going to do, he showed me the pieces of it. He's going to actually do a 3D print of the spaceship that they're using in the book that he's doing. It's 3 feet long.
Wow.
It's just going to be, it's only going to be available to people who signed up for his newsletter before going into the actual crowdfunding. So I'm like, putting my name on that letter, whether I crowdfund or not, I'm going to, at least be running for this humongous 3D printed ship.
Well, I'm a big fan of the old G.I. Joe action figures. And so, and then some of the larger action figures too. So I have a feeling that when I go into the hybrids action figure game, I'm going to have big ideas and I'm going to have, pretty high expectations, and they're probably going to be pretty expensive because, I would like posable characters. I want it's going to be nice that they can sit on a shelf for people to enjoy, but I want for kids to be able to pick up the toys and play with them.
You don't want one of these Dollar Tree generic action figures to come out. Yeah, I still pick up action figures now and then, but I like to pick up the old ones because, hey, I like to, quote unquote, play with them. I play with them weird, like Bruce's parents were killed on a gamma testing range.
I love it. Yeah, but that's what I want to do. I want to create some kind of an action figure that it's collectible, but it's functional as a toy for kids. Because I really want young readers to get into things, and I know that like my book is really T for teen, but there's going to be opportunities for us to expand that and try to get in younger readers and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, just because something's T for teen, as long as it's not T and A, younger readers can pick it up.
I try to keep the TNA out as best I can. I mean, obviously, they're superheroes, and some of the girls are sexy, and so we don't shy away from the fact that they've got curves, but we're not, I'm not putting them in sexual, explicit content and things like that. They're
not going out just time in a Victoria's Secret outfit.
No, they're not. I try to keep it very functional and very real. And that's why, I rely on my editors to help me, like, let's keep this somewhat realistic. Help me balance between they're sexy, they're sexy superheroes, but at the same time, it's functional and it's not,
Yeah.
just stupid,
I miss the days of I always go back to my childhood when, my dad and I would read the same comic books, and they appealed to him because they were written realistically. I mean, he would, anytime I brought home a Jonah Hex book, he was like, over here.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then I could read it too, because it was like, it wasn't too dumb for an adult not to appreciate, and it wasn't too mature for a kid not to be able to read.
Yeah.
Probably the closest that we ever came to that was the Warlords, which we also both loved. But there'd be issues with Tara and Jennifer and Shakira, and I asked my dad one time that the wisest statement I ever got from him about comic books that I'll never forget. I was like looking at these characters, Dad, what holds their costumes on? And he didn't even pause, but he said, ink. I'm like, oh,
yes,
that'll do it.
Yeah. But one of the things when I'm designing a character's costume is I try to think about how can this be cosplayed? Because I want for people to be able to, eventually the characters get to the popularity where people want to cosplay them. So I think, like, can someone cosplay this without breaking the bank? Because my daughter likes to do cosplay occasionally, and so I was like, so I'm thinking ahead on those things when I design a costume. I'm like, I want them to, look nice and be cool. And I want, but I don't want I don't want the book to be about, just how sexualized I can make the cover or how sexualized I can make a character. Yeah, I've got a real story to tell. I'm working hard on the plot and on the characterization and all of those things and development. I don't just want to put in a bunch of.
And when all this beer bug stuff is over, the first person you want to be able to cosplay all this stuff should be you, because you go back to conventions and you have a table set up. Well, imagine the attention that comes to your table when you have one or two hybrids standing next to your table, exactly. Greeting people and talking to folks.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's all part of a marketing plan. It's all part of I don't want hybrids. It's always going to be a comic book. That's my heart. That's my soul. Comics are king for me. And so I always want to do the comic book. The comic book is the priority, but I understand the value of diversifying the IP. And that's why I want to have games. I want to have toys. I want to have shirts and apparel for people to wear. Some people are always going for like that Netflix deal or something like that. I don't know that that's really in the future. I do want animation because I loved animated comic book stories. Like I loved being able to watch the X-Men or Spider-Man or things like that. And so eventually I want to take and translate some of the stories in that medium for people because I know we'll be able to share the story with more people. But ultimately, I want people to come back to the comics.
Well, that's the hub of it all. I mean,
yeah.
Without the comic, the other stuff doesn't exist. And I guess there's probably been cases where the other stuff overtook the comic.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of any off the top of my head. But I guess if there's anything going on with a canceled comic and it still exists in its toy form or its movie form, Hellblazer, they canceled Hellblazer, and John Constantine is still going on. So I would guess.
Yeah. Sometimes IPs go well beyond the scope of the comic. But I know when I was a collector, and I still am a collector, but when I was, in the 90s, really as a teenager, collecting comic books, it wasn't just, the early 90s to the late 90s. It wasn't just having the comic book, because the comic book you would read quickly. Yeah, but you could talk about it with your friends. It was having the T-shirts or having the hats that had the characters or the titles that I really enjoyed wearing. I would wear those things. It was the action figures that I could have as a kid playing. It was watching the cartoons with it. And just being able to just have my life touch those stories and those characters more than just a comic book. I understand the value of that, and I understand that, that I want that experience for other people. That's why the first thing I wanted developed was a role-playing game. That way people can really submerge themselves into the hybrid universe and really get to play in the sandbox, so to speak. Because I like it. I live in this world already. That's why I'm having fun making comic books, because I live in this world already. I know what's going on. It's neat. It's fun to play in. And right now I'm the only one that gets to play in it, unless I let another writer or artist come and play along. But for the average reader, the fan, they don't get to play in it. They just get to watch what I've done. I want to give them the opportunity to build their own character from scratch. I want to give them the ability to play inside that world and that universe, and to be able to have their own adventures inside of there, and be the mind behind it, and the kind of person behind it. And so that's why the role-playing game is so important to me, to get that out for people. Because
it would be cool that you might be able to pull off early on. Obviously, there's the Marvel Online video game. I don't know what it's called, World of Marvel or something like that, where you're playing in the Marvel universe. DC's got the same thing. You're a hero in the DC universe. You're not one of the heroes. You're a rookie hero. But that's because you can develop skins. Now, if you could develop hybrid skins for either one of these things and just make them downloadable for players,
that would be cool.
Here's a character that put this skin on, and now you can go into whatever other universe this is and play the character. By the way, here's the power sets you should set up for this thing or gear around.
Yeah, well, and another one of the future plans is to find one of those independent video game developers that shares the Comicsgate ideology, and says, hey, let's develop a game for this. It's possible to make it happen, and do that, and then start. Eventually, I want to pave the way for other creators to think outside of the box. Like, oh, my book can exist as a role-playing game. My book can exist as a card game. My book can exist as a board game. My book can exist as a cartoon. My book can so on and so forth. That's what my goal is to try to blaze a path and show other independent creators that, we're not bottom tier. We're not second tier creators, that we're the future of comic books. And if we think beyond just the 24 or 32 page format, if we can think beyond that, then we have an opportunity to really be in people's lives more than just the occasional crowdfunder.
Yeah, look beyond writing a book. Look toward building a business.
Yeah,
and I think we've got some people who have started doing that. Obviously, Ethan Van Sciver's well on his way to having done that with everything that's Cyberfrog and related to it. I don't think he'll ever get to Rainbow Brute because he can't get away from the frog long enough. It's where the money is. But now you've seen Richard C. Myers putting out like action figures, and sort of a lark, I think, with him to get I forgot the name of his team now. Look behind me and see what they're called. I got too many books. Anyway, his book, Jawbreakers.
Yeah.
Jawbreakers action figures. I kept wanting to say G.I. Joe because I knew that they were, based and inspired by that. I don't know anybody else who's going that deep into it, other than like anything they can print. If they can print posters, they can print stickers. They get like a mini business. But yeah, to really ingrain yourself and you talking all this stuff with all your plans. You remind me when I was at a convention in 1989, and this Spawn comic book had come out, and Todd McFarlane's up here saying, "Hey, we're going to do toys, we're going to do games, we're going to have a television show, we're going to have a movie." And I'm sitting there going, "Yeah, right."
Right. Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, well, that was pretty stupid because he's still doing it, and he's still doing rather well. So to hear you come out with this same level of confidence and excitement for your team, now I'm like, cool. So in a couple of years, I'm going to see a hybrids movie, and I'm going to see some hybrids toys, because when I hear people say they're going to do this now, I know it's something that's going to get done.
It's going to get done. Yeah, it's definitely going to get done. So I even know the 4 action figures that I'm going to start with. The 4 action figures I'm going to start with is Trashman, Chlorine, Bone, and Ion. So those are going to be the 4 that I start with originally for collectors. Then I'm going to start going into the villains. I'm going to do Mount Fuji, and I'm going to do Rascal. And so we'll get those introduced as well. And so the plan is that it'll go probably Trashman Chlorine, Bone Ion, Rascal, Mount Fuji. And so
are you going to do one of those Marvel Legends things where I've got to buy 6 figures so I can put together the 7th one out of?
Probably not. That just seems well outside of my scope. My plan is to start figuring out how much it's going to cost to get 2 action figures done, and then include that in with a Kickstarter of one of the issues. So I just mentioned 6 characters. So the next arc is going to be 4 issues, and so January I will have issue 6 done before Thanksgiving, and which means around the time I'm shipping out all of the books for the trade paperback, that issue 6 will be done. And and immediately, as soon as I do fulfillment, I'll start the Indiegogo so people can start signing up for the mailing list for that release. And so we're going to wait until after the holidays to launch that, but we'll launch that one in January. And so as soon as that one, and hopefully by the end of the year, we'll also have issue 7 done. So issue 7 will be in the books, ready to go, waiting for issue 6 to be done. But part of the process, the reason why I want to get ahead of things is because I want to figure out how to do the action figures. And so with issue 7, I want to also add 2 action figures to it. With issue 8, 2 action figures. With issue 9, 2 action figures. So that's kind of my goal.
All right. Well, the name of the project is Hybrids, the Sons of Gods. This is a 128-page graphic novel. It is $353 away from funding, folks. It's got 18 days left. It's 2.5 weeks. We could get this done tonight if just put that $60 bundle there and get both the holofoil and the Canaan White cover.
Or if you wanted to go all in, I've got a super box. Okay,
what's the super box? Is that down
super box? Super box, yes. You have all 3 covers. You get you get the 3 covers that's available. You get all of the collectible items. Plus, you get everything that's been added as a stretch, everything that's been added as an add-on. So you get the homage covers, you get the standard hybrids covers, you get the connected covers, you get basically the only thing you don't get is the original art. But it's everything, including the kitchen sink, and so we will include a kitchen sink in the box.
Cool. I remember you saying that before. It's like, I hope you print up like a kitchen sink sticker or a 3D printed one. So
yeah,
there will be a kitchen sink in this one. Not all perk pictures, so the kitchen sink's not there.
Yeah. And so I actually ran out of room. I can't add any more perks on there to show like what you get. So I just let everybody know. It's like you get everything. So anything that you see there, except for the original art, it's going in the box. And so it is the best value that we could possibly give.
And 2 people have claimed this one. There's still 23 of them left. 2 people pick this thing out. It's funded. It's overfunded. And you start getting that, 100+% that starts putting it on the front of Indiegogo and getting promoted.
And starts running us towards that, adding the 12 extra pages.
Yes. So that could become another 100. It would become 140 pages instead of 128 pages. My God, I did that math in my head. I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah, nice work.
See, if I'd have been Joe Biden, that would have taken 10 minutes. Oh, I went there.
Sleepy Joe.
Yes. I wonder how he's doing tonight. My
Probably not good. And at the very least, if you don't really want to back the project, which would break my heart, you can buy me a cup of Joe and fuel the madness.
This is true. We have you can buy that. You don't even have to pay for shipping on that. It's I'm not going to ship the coffee to you.
Yeah.
So
I'll eat the cost of shipping myself.
If we can get 71 people, look at me. We can get 71 people to buy you a cup of coffee. You will be, first of all, you won't sleep until November.
Yeah, true. Which I'm going to need so I can get issue 6 out, fulfill this, and have issue 7 done. So I might ship a couple of those cups of coffee over to my colorist in Brazil so that he can stay up long enough to keep up with me.
I have no doubt that it's going to get funded here. So I'm confident in it. I would have liked to have seen it jumped up at least one tier added to it tonight, but it's Tuesday. People get paid on Fridays.
Yeah, it is Tuesday. Yeah.
That's and like again, people are watching the old men fight on television. Yeah. So I'm just going to close it out here. Again, I want to remind people of the shows coming up later this week. It's not under banners, it's under brands. Tomorrow, the Starring Sonia Devereaux team, they're crowdfunding their trade paperback collection of the 4 issues of Starring Sonia Devereaux, which includes The Naked and the Damned Part 2, Vampire Academy Part 4, Debutante Desperado, and Spider Shark versus Snake Bear. If you don't know Sonia Devereaux, she's the 306th best actress in America, and she only stars in sequels to things that have already gone on and lost their popularity. We will have Nick Kapatanakis and Todd Livingston with us. They're the writers. They're bringing Brian and Brendan Frame, the art team. And as special guests, we will have Ivana Cadaver and Carolyn Pierce, both of whom star in these books with Sonia. And then Thursday, after that, we will be live with The Rascals on stage with Greg Shen. We hope you'll come in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun both of these nights. And, I've been told to refresh. Why am I being told to refresh? I'm going to refresh. 46, 47. Do I get a drum roll out of this?
Yay!
Hey, the night has been worth it. The night has been worth something. Thank you, Piper, for letting me know. Okay. I'm getting debate updates from BAP2 in the chat here. He refused
that's awesome.
to check for an earpiece, so Sleepy Joe has one. Okay, so he wouldn't let them look in his ear, so we know there's something in his ear. That's okay. Yeah. We saw Hillary's last time. It was very, very blatant.
Oh, Sleepy Joe. What a guy.
Don't know who did that. We appreciate you doing it. Piper, if that was you.
That was Piper. Thank you, Piper.
Glad to see that in there.
That was a vote of confidence from Piper because she has the books already. Well, the digital, not the physical. She didn't get the physical.
Sometimes a digital is a perfect way to get somebody to say, yeah, this was good enough. I want to own a copy of it.
And if you want, I just shared my screen and we can give a little bit of a heads up on this for people. So this is part of issue 6. So we have a few images that I can show off for issue 6. The line art is finished for the first 9 pages. And so you can see some of the characters have changed a little bit.
Looks like somebody's getting married.
Maybe. Yeah. And so I'm doing this thing where I'm actually working with individual pages, but I'm doing them side by side as I'm, have them laid out in such a way to where I can preview what the pages are going to look like as the reader goes through them. So
because that gives you a better sense of the timing that you want to control, because you could forget what page 2 looks like while you're working page 3, and then you put them together and like, that doesn't really.
Yeah. I want the pages to work together cohesively, and this one I'm actually pretty happy with. I decided I wanted to add a couple of pages so that it would be a little more action in this particular scene. And so I just off the cuff was like, okay, well, I'll just do this and we'll write text for it later. So Piper, get ready to help me write dialogue for these 2 pages later.
The Marvel way.
Yeah, these pages are the Marvel way for certain. But what I did here is I decided, a really cool way to break up the next page was to use an arrow as the panel dividers. And so so as you're looking at it, it's not a 2-page spread. They're clearly 2 different pages, but elements from one page make their way over to the other page so that you can have this kind of this like full experience.
I'm assuming there's gonna be like a motion line of some kind or a blurring effect to really put that arrow into motion kind of stuff.
I leave that to my colorist to add a little bit of blur to it, and so he'll do that. That'll be in his notes for that page. So
man.
But yeah, so that's what we're working on. And we've got, as you can see on the side here, we've got other pages already that have got the layouts done for them. And so I'll do a little layout, and then I'll do some inks and layout and inks. And so it'll be a 32-page self cover. So we're pretty excited about it. I like the way it's turned out so far. So
we've got to get the trade paperback done before we can get, or not trade paperback, hardcover. it's some of it's paperback, some of it's hardcover. Go for the hardcovers. I always do. That's what I prefer anyway. They last longer. All right, and just want to let people know that when it comes. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my. I understand Bat Cat comes out this week, so this is my Bat Cat shirt because I think it's probably more fun on the shirt than the book series probably is. But the reason I put the close-up up was because I want to remind people we have these. I'm going to pull one out of here. First of all, to show it's open. We have our 3-inch. There we go. It's never in the same place. Our 3-inch holofoil critical blast stickers that we get from our good buddies at Sticker Mule. And we would love to put these into your hands. So all you have to do is send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Critical Blast at 1097 Prestwick Drive, Belleville, Illinois, 62221. And we'd love to get an envelope in the mail with our name on it and open it up and find an envelope with your name on it, into which we will throw 2 of these suckers so that you can have one for yourself and one to share with a friend or stick on the back of their car when they're not looking. We'll take it either way we can. Luke, it's been a lot of fun talking with you. I was like, what else can I ask him about the book? Because it's the same book, and I know we're trying to push it over the edge tonight, but what can I ask? We did fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to start having more confidence in myself. And let's see, what are you saying, RJ? You asked about the Punchline comic. Mine came in yesterday, read it, and put it in order for volume 2. Okay, so you're liking Punchline? Okay, I'll have to start looking at Punchline. I've seen a lot about it. I've not read it. If that's the Antarctic one, I'll ask my LCS guy to get it in. Then I don't have to order anything. And awkward silence as I prepare to end the broadcast.
And looking for the button.
Yeah, I swear to God, they move it and then they put it right back where it was before. No, I thought trailing off. I was having a Biden moment there.
Bless his heart.
Was the kid's gonna rub my legs now? I should have ended this program 5 minutes ago now. All right, Luke, it's been a lot of fun having you on here. Absolute confidence that we're going to see this thing go over the edge. It's only $340 to go now. So I was going to ask this and I didn't do it. I know that if you crowdfund something, there are like these other sites that say, how's your crowdfund doing? And does it look like you're going to hit it? And here's our predictive analysis. Do you follow that much, or do you just kind of go to the main page and say, nope, not over there yet?
Yeah, I don't really do all that stuff. It's to be funny. Here's the thing. I don't put a lot of value into those because they don't know who's going to come in and when they're going to come in. They don't know what shows you're going to do or how that's going to work. So all that predictive stuff is just based on algorithms that may not work. What might surprise a lot of people is I don't like to submit my book for review with people. I hire an editor to tell me whether it's good or not. I know the problems the book has by the time it's done. I've had enough people tell me. I've got a circle of people I've got readers.
At all.
What's that?
Speaking as a book reviewer at criticalblast.com, I don't mind that at all. Go ahead. It's just
Well, and the reason why I do that is because I kind of know what's wrong with it. I kind of already know what's wrong with it. But some people do actually really good reviews. But I normally get hit up all the time for people wanting free books, and no one actually goes to their website. So, I don't really do. What I prefer to do is this. This is what I like to do. I like to sit down and talk about the book. I know what the issues are, and if you look at just issue 1 through issue 5 critically, I was a different person when I started issue 1 as far as a creator, an artist, a writer, and I grew through that process. And so the book gets better, and the things that I learned through that time, but again, I have a circle of people that I trust. And some of those people are book reviewers. They just don't submit book reviews of my books, but they tell me it's like, well, this is a problem. That's a problem. And I listen to those people, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll fix it next time.
It's hard to tell somebody that there's a problem with their book because, I started not doing reviews of Comicsgate books, first of all, because, you had to buy the book first to get it. But then I started getting, PDFs of things. And one of the first books I reviewed was like, I gave it like a 3.5, which was just not bad. 3.5 out of 5 is our scale.
Yeah.
And the creator went out and did a whole video on why I was wrong with the grading that I gave it.
See, that's the other thing. Yeah, something else I've been doing, and this is really funny, is I will post something on Facebook, and this normally just happens on Facebook. Doesn't really happen on Twitter, but I'll post something on Facebook, and it kind of stirs the pot, and it makes some people upset, and then like the dumpster fire will take place in the comments, and then I just ignore it. I don't respond to anything, and I just let them all like out themselves as being really bad people.
Walk away.
Pretty much, yeah. So, I find my life is so much easier and so much happier now.
Yeah, but because I did review that, critically, hence the name, it kind of should have been a giveaway. I got other people in Comicsgate coming to me saying, I want you to review my book now, because they know if I give it a good mark, I'm not shilling for every Comicsgate book out there. I'm telling you exactly what I think of your book and what I think other people should think of it. So, and in the grand scheme of things, I'm one opinion.
Well, I have like once a script is done with me and the editor, once we've gone through that, then I hand it off to a couple other people to read and I get their feedback, then if they, if anything made sense, that I'll change it. But you can't make everybody happy at the end of the day. You have to make some choices for your story and things. Yeah. And then I run my art through my hardest critics. I'm like, okay, who are my hardest critics? And I'll let them review it. Like as I'm done with a page, I'll show it off to them and then get their feedback. And so sometimes I'll go back and change things. But for the most part,
go with the people you trust.
Yep.
Well, we ended the show and then we started a new one, but I think I'm gonna close it out now. I've got to go check on some things. I got to see if they killed each other on stage yet or not. And that would be ratings hell.
Yeah, I'm sure they're listening to it in the other room. I'll go check that out too. So,
all right. Well, Luke, been a pleasure, and we appreciate chat coming by. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.